Boom! What's up, you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to another members exclusive video. As many of you know, Riot Platforms is one of my favorite stocks of all time, and also one of the largest holdings in the Waves portfolio. So with that in mind, I am stoked to say the stock is ripping higher today on the back of some very promising news. So let's read over it, then jump into the charts and take a look at BTC and Riot and talk about potential short to medium to longer term price action. Okay, so activist investor Starboard has built stake in Bitcoin miner Riot via the Wall Street Journal. Starboard is reportedly pushing the miner to convert some of its mining sites into data centers. What to know? Don't want to scroll down too far. What to know? Starboard has taken an unspecified position in Bitcoin miner Riot Platforms, Wall Street Journal reported, citing people familiar with the matter. The activist investor is pushing the company to convert some mining sites into data centers to capitalize on the hype surrounding HPC and AI. Riot said that it has engaged with Starboard on multiple occasions. Okay, then let's go over here to the full article, and I'll just read over this final paragraph. Starboard has been pushing Riot to convert some of its Bitcoin mining sites into data centers that can host machines to enable high-performance computing for big tech companies, according to the story. Riot is currently a pure-play Bitcoin miner that gets its revenue only from mining Bitcoin, as opposed to some other peers such as Core Scientific, which has dedicated a significant amount of its facilities to HPC and AI computing. So, that's pretty much all we need to say there. This is not guaranteed that Riot is going to do this. This is the fact that the activist investor by the name of Starboard Value, has proposed this. But in my personal opinion, I don't know why Riot wouldn't be open to this. And again, they did say that they've been engaging with them in the past. They are now going to be a shareholder if they are taking a large stake in the company. That's what activist investors do. And overall, this is incredibly bullish news for Riot. You can see that even as Bitcoin is down and falling as we record this, Riot is still up 11%. We got a little dip earlier in the day, but all in all, the stock is holding up incredibly well, given kind of just the overall macro uncertainty right now. And again, we have this news to thank. This is objectively bullish news, in my opinion, at least as far as speculation and hype is concerned. And again, you guys, when it comes to the reality of trading and trading momentum, and a lot of these plays, especially in crypto and AI sectors, as we know very well over here at Waves Capital, momentum, hype, like speculation does matter a lot. Okay, the story of a stock and the future potential of what a stock will do versus what they're currently doing is very, very meaningful. Okay, and this is especially appealing news considering Riot, Bitcoin miners kind of overall, but Riot most specifically has been significantly underperforming relative to how many expected it to, myself included. But this news, I do think, will catalyze that comeback that we've been talking about for so long. And I am incredibly bullish, if that wasn't already clear, on Riot. And again, that is muddy where my mouth is. Riot is currently, and has been for a while, one of the largest positions, not only in my common share portfolio, but it is currently tied for the largest call position in my options portfolio. So with that in mind, if you want, I know most of you are members, if you're members of the YouTube channel. If not, hit the join button below this video. But if you are not a member of the newsletter and portfolio group, then that's the first link in the description. It's my complete portfolio, daily trade alerts, email newsletters. You get a full breakdown of my entire personal portfolio, call options, put options, cryptocurrency positions, which I update every single day. And also, with every update, send out a trade alert newsletter, and then a trade analysis newsletter in the hours that follow, going over daily charts, some of our favorite names that we cover, a lot of the names that we cover here on the channel. So again, first link in the description if you would like to join the winning team. If so, then welcome. We're stoked to have you. And as always, for those of you who are members of the portfolio group, it means a lot if you guys do some just share your experience in the comments. It's been an amazing couple of months, and I expect that the remainder of the year will be the same, especially with this fresh piece of Riot news. Okay, so that said, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the charts. Short and sweet, you guys. In the short term, Bitcoin has broken out. We're about to reach, we're inches away from breaking to a new all-time high, currently sitting back above $100,000 after a little pullback we saw over the past week. But in the short term, I do think it's pretty likely. Let's go to 1 hour candles just to make this a little more digestible. I think it's pretty likely that although we did break out and retest this line of broken medium-term resistance as new support right here. I still think it's possible that we do ultimately retest it again. Okay. We just got some inflationary data this morning that wasn't super bullish, and that's why the markets are kind of a little uncertain of where to go this morning, at least in my opinion. But overall, I don't think that Bitcoin is likely to see a massive correction. I will say that the worst case scenario in my mind, which I'm absolutely not ruling out, would be like a 19 to 20% correction down to $82,000. I've discussed why that's my target in a few of the our past 2 Bitcoin videos. So go check those out if you haven't. But ultimately, $82,000 does make sense to me. And again, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we did see it. But that isn't to say that we don't see 110, 115, 120K first, okay? So once we start ripping higher, it's difficult to gauge how much higher we climb in what period of time due to the nature of blue sky territory, areas where there are very little historical resistance nor support to gauge off of. But fundamentally speaking, the momentum is clearly in favor of Bitcoin from a longer, if you're thinking in a long-term with a long-term time horizon. But the short term may be a little choppy, especially given the uncertainty and I personally think that the major indices like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ will pull back. Now, Bitcoin has broken correlation pretty meaningfully broken correlation to the major equity indices over the past couple of months, which is very, very promising to see. But I do think that those macro storm clouds could pull Bitcoin lower, with once again $82,000 being my kind of absolute worst case scenario target. I do think it's possible we bottom out around 90K to also a psychological even, but at the same time, it's possible that we rip higher. To 110, 120, maybe even 130, 40K. So that said, Bitcoin kind of a toss up, but again, even the fact that Riot is holding up so well is promising and gives me reason to believe that even if Bitcoin does fall, then Riot, although it's likely that Riot falls along with it, I think the downside is pretty mitigated by this again, bullish piece of news. Okay, so technically speaking, Riot has tested this line of conservative resistance. I call it conservative because I'm using multiple touch points here. A lot of traders might look at this and use this as a line of resistance. Nope. And nope, because of exactly what we just saw here. Always remember, you guys, you want to front run your competition as a trader. That's why I like using as many touch points as possible when I draw trend lines in order to trade off of them. Okay, so again, we are seeing this line of resistance come into play. Again, it's very dependent upon what Bitcoin does in the hours that follow, but again, this news is bullish. Volume is picking up. We're seeing 88, like the day isn't even over yet. We've seen 88 million shares trade already today so far on an average volume of 36 million. So we're probably going to 2x, maybe even 3x volume by the end of the trading day. Very bullish. You want to see volume. You want to see momentum. Volume typically translates to the beginning of a sustained move. So this is a massive haul of volume upon a good piece of news sending the stock higher. It's likely that there will be some residual effects of this. At least that's typically, in my experience, that's usually how it goes. It's not, nothing's ever guaranteed, but that's just, again, a general trend or a general pattern you can identify with moves like these. So that's good overall. This line of very, very long-term resistance been in place since July of 23 is a very, very, every trader and their mom is looking at this if you're trading Riot. So from here, if we are able to break above this line of shorter-term resistance, I think we have a clean 13, 14% jump up if this happens prior to the new year to the high 14s. Again, given this momentum, given this volume, I wouldn't be surprised if this happens within the next week. Definitely before Christmas. So I do think that if Riot rallies to test this line of resistance, it'll happen soon, given just kind of the optimism and, again, momentum that has been reignited under the stock with this piece of news. So good stuff. If Riot can break above this, which I have a lot of faith in, again, because I do think Riot is going to make a comeback. I'm personally convinced of that. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but again, I will be keeping my money where my mouth is. I will keep a meaningful Riot position on the table, and I do think that another wave higher, meaningfully higher, is coming for the OG. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. As always, let me know in the comments down below what you think, if you agree, if you disagree, and why. Always like chopping it up with you guys. And yeah, until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.